A fandom within a fandom within a fandom. Fandom inception. Hey guys, Carla here. And okay, so here's the thing. Netflix is like super helpful, as you might know. So last week, when I exactly on the day that I was posting my last video, exactly as I was posting my last video, to be honest, Netflix started teasing Stranger Things news. Which, of course, by that point it was too late for me to update my video that I had just spent the last 24 hours editing. So I waited to see what the news was, and it turned out to be a casting announcement. I'm like, you couldn't have told me this on Thursday? Come on, Netflix. Way to be helpful here. So in the end I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave it until next week, and that is why I'm talking about Stranger Things again this week, which, you know, honestly it shouldn't be a surprising thing because I talk about Stranger Things all the time. It's my favorite show of all time. So, of course, I couldn't let this news go by because I'm really excited about it, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully in a shorter video because it's like one casting announcement. So, it really should not take me an hour, I hope. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So, let's have at it. So the first thing I have to mention about the announcement is that it was a double announcement, honestly. It was a new cast member and an old cast member, or actually an old guest star that got upgraded to now a recurring star, which is exciting. So I'm gonna start with that one, and it's none other than breakout character from season 2, Erica Sinclair, aka Lucas's younger sister, who is the sassiest person in the world, and there's no way anybody watched Stranger Things 2 and did not love her. Like, we all fell in love with Erica, okay? She's the best. And the Duffers had already said that she would still come back in season 3 and we would see more of her. Now Netflix has made it official and has upgraded her to a full recurring character, which, according to the Netflix and Stranger Things official Twitter accounts at least, means that we will see Erica in every episode and that she will be hanging around with a gaggle of her girlfriends, which, yes, I cannot wait to see them. Like, can you imagine this bunch of nerds having to deal with like a gaggle of preteen girls? Oh my god, I need to see this like right now. It's so exciting. So the official press release released in Variety actually says, the scene stealer returns in the next installment with an army of her own friends. No longer content with sitting on the sidelines, Erica finds herself on a wild mission to save Hawkins from a dangerous new threat, which is kind of mind-blowing because, again, she's a recurring character. She's not a main cast member. She's recurring. So they make it sound like she'll be really involved in the plot. I don't think she will be. I think she will, I don't know, I think she might complicate things for the boys, I guess, or help the boys out unknowingly at some point. I don't think she's gonna be like in the thick of it. Or maybe she will be and she just won't know what's happening or something, like kind of like Holly in season 1 with the lights and whatever. I think it will be interesting to see what they do with Erica. I honestly don't know what it's gonna be. I don't think she's going to be that important. Otherwise, they would have upgraded her to a cast member, like a main cast member. But I think it could be interesting to see what she can bring to the table as far as the actual plot is concerned, because she kind of was involved in season 2 in the sense that she wouldn't pass on Dustin's messages, etc. So I think it could be something like that, except a bit more. Like, not just one call that she fielded and then didn't pass on, but more like the stuff that she's doing with her friends might sort of interfere somehow with the boys' plans. So that's what I'm thinking. We will see her more, just not as central as most of the main characters tend to be. But you know what? More Erica is already a gift, so I'm good with that. I can't wait to see her. I think that girl is so talented, and I'm so glad that the show sort of discovered her basically and gave her this opportunity, and I can't wait to, like, Erica's the best. I can't wait to see her in this season, especially with her little friends. Like, that's my favorite part of the whole thing. I'm so anticipating just seeing this little gaggle of girls have to deal with our beloved nerdy boys and just make their lives miserable. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. On top of that, though, and I think this is the biggest casting news that we got, is that I was speaking last week about 3 character descriptions that we got for the show. And then on Friday, they revealed this casting announcement, and it turned out to be none of them. Like, none of the 3 that I read about last week. This is a completely new character that we had not heard anything about at all. And it's interesting because last week, I was just positing the idea that the fact that these 3 casting notices that we got, they're all adults, basically. They were all adults, and I was kind of thinking, hey, well, maybe that means that we won't get any younger new characters, which, you know, I thought was okay because I don't want them to add anyone to the party itself. Like, I think the 6 kids already do their job and they don't need anyone else because we've been through that before. I wouldn't mind somebody also going into the teen side of things, like with Nancy and Jonathan and Steve. And, you know, that's exactly where Netflix went. So they announced on Friday that they are introducing a new character to the show, and she will be played by Maya Thurman-Hawke, who, if in case you can't tell from her last name, Thurman-Hawke, she's Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter, Maya, which is great. I mean, anything that comes from Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke already has some of the best acting genes of all time, so yay for that. I was already excited as soon as I saw her name. I was like, oh my god, that's their daughter. That's awesome. I didn't even know she acted. But you know what's more interesting about this, and it goes a little bit to my intro at the beginning of the video, is that I'm just really excited about Maya joining the cast for 2 main reasons. I haven't seen her in anything. Like I said, I didn't even know she acted. Like, I didn't know she was an actress. But I look forward to seeing what she can do. I will see her, however, before I see her in Stranger Things 3, because it turns out she is in the upcoming BBC/PBS miniseries adaptation of Little Women. Now, in case you didn't know, and you really should know by now because I've mentioned this like 14,000 times already in these videos, Little Women is my favorite book of all time. I adore Little Women. It was one of my first fandoms. It's a book that I reread at least once a year. I love Little Women. I've read it like 40 times. I'm only in my 30s, but I've read that book so many times. I love it. Some of my idols are in that book. I still want to be like Jo March when I grow up. Like, I love Little Women. So as soon as you tell me that this girl is in the Little Women revival, I'm in. I'm so in, because I think that story is such a complex story that it's not just anyone they pick from the street that they can actually choose. I think there are so many layers to Little Women. The characters are so significant to so many people out there. It's such a classic that it's not something that they would like half-ass. Every time you tell me someone's in Little Women, I'm gonna say this person can act. So immediately, straight away, I'm drawn because of that. Plus, you know, it actually already came out in the UK in December, I think, Boxing Day it was. It hasn't premiered in the US yet. It will premiere in May at some point. So around the time they start actually filming Stranger Things 3, that's when the Little Women miniseries will premiere in PBS. I can't wait for it. Like, I've been waiting for this since it came out in the UK. It seemed to get really good reviews in the UK. It's done really well apparently, and I just can't wait to see it on PBS. I'm so excited. I've seen the trailer. I must have watched it like a bajillion times. It looks so good that I can't wait to see it. So straight away, that's already a plus. If you tell me one of the people in this Little Women miniseries that I was already excited about is going to be in Stranger Things 2, I'm in. I'm so in. I'm so glad to see Maya in this. But moreover, more important than that, it's really cool that she was chosen because she's not only in the Little Women revival, she's playing Jo March. Like, I did not know this when I saw the casting announcement. I only realized it later when I went on to read the actual Variety piece, because I was only looking at the tweets initially, and then I read the Variety piece and I was like, holy crap, she's playing Jo March, which is amazing in two ways. Again, because Jo March is basically the main character of Little Women. She's the lead, basically. Which means that Maya is, not just anybody. She's gotta be a good actress. She's gotta be a decent actress, at least, in order to play a character that is so iconic to so many people in the world. So already that is like double the excitement for me, but moreover than that, Winona Ryder played Jo March. I don't know if you guys like. I understand that some of my audience here is a little bit younger than I am, but there was an adaptation of Little Women in 1994. It was a movie. It was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, and one of those nominations included Winona Ryder as Jo March, because she's amazing. I love that movie. It's, again, I watch it like sometimes when I get bored, just pull up the Little Women movie because I love that movie so much. And it was one of the main reasons why I started to love Winona Ryder as a kid. And that love of Winona Ryder is basically what led me to Stranger Things. So it's like, now I know not only do I have a show that I adore from beginning to end for more reasons than just Winona, but I also have Winona, who is Jo March, and I'm gonna have Maya Thurman, who is Jo March, and it's like a fandom inside a fandom inside a fandom, and it's like freaking Inception. Fandom Inception. It's so cool. Like, guys, it blew my mind. I may have legitimately like teared up when I saw that Maya was going to be Jo March. Like, I was like, it's a sign from the heavens that I need to be excited about Stranger Things 3. So that's as far as the casting itself goes. Now I want to talk a little bit about the character, because we only know a little bit about her, a short description that we got. And from the Variety article, it says, Hawke will play an alternative girl bored with her mundane day job. She seeks excitement in her life and gets more than she bargained for when she uncovers a dark secret in Hawkins, Indiana. Which, unlike the description for Erica, I actually do believe that Robin, that's her name, will actually be a central part of the mystery going on in season 3. It feels from reading the description that she's going to be like a kind of Max type in a sense. Not in personality, but just in the way that she finds herself in the middle of things. Max just wanted friends, and then all of a sudden she picked the one group of boys who absolutely was fighting monsters. And somehow she ended up in the middle of it. It feels like Robin will be a little bit like that as well. I find it interesting though, because I like how they're actually integrating these 80s sort of stereotypes, but in a good way, like all the character archetypes of the 80s, where you have Steve, who's like the cool jock, and you have Nancy, who's like the serious, studious, good girl, and then you have Jonathan, who's like aloof and all about weird music and, you know, not talking to anybody. And it'll be interesting how Maya or Robin comes in to this group and how those relationships are affected. I'm assuming, yes, that she's going to be a teen because Maya is 19, so she'll be 20 during filming. I think her birthday's in July because I'm a stalker and I looked her up in the wiki. I think she'll be 20 in July-ish. So, yeah, she's around Natalia Dyer's age, I guess. Maybe a year younger or so. So she'll definitely be one of the teens. She's not going to be hanging out with, like, Dustin and Lucas and Will. No, she's going to be one of the teens, which is going to be interesting. I like the label of alternative girl because she might, you know, I've always, one of the things that I wonder, and obviously they have, you know, been very meta with this on the show, is you kind of wonder if Jonathan actually has friends, you know? Will actually asked him about that in season 2 and he's like, I have friends. What if Robin turns out to be one of Jonathan's friends? Or maybe if they're not friends, maybe they sort of run in the same circles. Because she says, they say she's bored with her mundane day job. I keep, with that and the alternative line, I keep thinking of her as, I don't know, maybe someone who's working at a records shop after school or something. I definitely think she will probably be around the same age as Nancy and Jonathan. So maybe she's a senior in season 3. Maybe she's got an after-school job at a record store or something along those lines, something to do with music or theater or something like that. And maybe she's just tired of the routine, I guess. But it would be interesting if the way that she sort of comes into the fold is through Jonathan, because we've never seen Jonathan with actual friends. So that might be interesting. And also, you know, you wonder what it might do to, what her sudden presence in the middle of everything might do to the already existing relationship between Jonathan and Nancy and Steve, which I'm gonna guess is probably strained after the events of season 2 a little bit. But it could be interesting because then you see that Jonathan and Nancy, who are kind of really different, but you know, they're attracted to each other. They're together despite their differences. Whereas someone like Robin, who might have more in common with Jonathan, might not necessarily find herself attracted to him or him to her. So it's interesting in that sense. Also, I've already heard people on Twitter like speculating that Robin might be a new love interest for Steve, which honestly, I'll take it. I would rather she come in not having anything, not having to be romantically involved with anybody, but I will welcome more girls into this cast, however you give them to me, as long as they have more than just a romantic relationship with these characters, that there's more to them than just that. I'm good. And you know, I like Steve. I think having someone who's so different from him, much like with Jonathan and Nancy, might be good for him as a character, and it might make an interesting kind of chemistry with this Robin girl. So if that's what they're going for, I'll take it. And honestly, I freaking hope to God that it ends this whole Herring Grove thing that's happening in the fandom, where people ship Billy and Steve. You know, I have nothing against the shippers. You can ship whomever you want. It's your thing. But personally, that pairing is something I will never understand. So I'm very firmly on the give Steve a significant other camp, because I think Jonathan and Nancy, she's not going back to Steve. I don't think so. It would be really annoying if she does. And honestly, I don't want her to, because I ship her with Jonathan. I did so since season 1. But you don't want Steve to be alone either, because we like Steve. Steve is really cool and really fun. So, you know, as long as he has someone, I'm happy for him. Just not Billy, dude. Like, anyone else. Come on. You have to pair him up with the psychotic, racist douchebag who almost killed a child. actually almost killed 3 children at some point. Like, seriously, that's who you want to be with Steve? He's freaking abusive. Stop it! It's your decision. I'm not trying to influence anybody, but for me, I just do not want that to happen at all. So if this Robin girl comes to give Steve some freaking happiness in a relationship that I can finally get on board with, I'm good with it. I don't know if that's gonna be it, but I'm just hoping Steve is happy at some point. I don't even care if they get together. I don't even know what she'll be like, so I can only speculate at this point. But I've heard people say that, hey, maybe that's what she's, that's one of the important points of her character, perhaps. Her character arc. It would be interesting, especially since she seems so very different from Nancy and from Steve and from anything that Steve has seemed to like, I guess, over the past 2 seasons. So it will be interesting to see. I'm just happy if this Billy thing goes out the window. I cannot stand that pairing. I'm so sorry. I understand that people ship weird things. I've done it. It's fine. Like, I know there are people who genuinely, and actually I know there are people who have written stories about it and actually made it make sense. I don't want to see it on the show. Honestly, I'd be really happy if Billy isn't even in this season. As much as I love Dacre Montgomery, like, I'm a fan of his. He was my Red Ranger. I loved him in Power Rangers. I loved him as Billy. I thought he did an amazing job. I just hate the character. And if we can find a way to have him not be in the season, I'll be totally happy. I'll trade Robin for Billy every day of the week. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this casting announcement. We don't have much details, but I will surely be back with more videos like this if we ever do get more stuff. I expect, given that production is meant to start in April, that we will get more casting announcements this month. Hopefully some of those 3 that I talked about last week. Maybe we'll see them soon, and when we do, I will make sure to come back and do another video about them and analyzing them and wondering what the heck is up with these people. So I guess stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I also wanted to add, however, somewhat outside of the show, but also kind of related to the show. I don't know if you know this, but my favorite character in the show is Mike, and my favorite actor in the show is Finn Wolfhard. Finn has a band. It's called California. It's an amazing band. They just got signed by a record label in Canada, and they're working on an EP. And their first single, it's titled City Boy, just came out this past midnight. Or I'm recording this on Wednesday, so this midnight, just a few hours ago. Their first single hit all the major music platforms. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play. It's called City Boy by Calpurnia. It is amazing. I'm having such a proud mama moment right now, like all day. I listened to the song this morning. They also have an official music video which you can watch on YouTube. I listened to the song this morning and I'm just like, I'm feeling like my own son just graduated high school or something. Like, I'm so proud of them, of the entire band, but especially Finn. Like, they're such a great band. I can't wait to see what they do, where they go with their music. The song is incredible. I love it. It's so catchy. You will have it stuck in your head for like days, I assure you of that. So please, if you like Finn, if you like his acting and his band and his music, please go check it out in any of the major platforms. Or, in case you didn't know, I do have a Finn Wolfhard fan site that I run, and I posted about it today, posted the video as well as all the links to all the major music platforms, music distribution platforms. So if you want the links, just go to fandom-y.com and they're all in there. So please, please, please give it a listen. It's so good, and also share it with your friends and recommend it to people because it's really an awesome song. Their band is so great, and it's obvious that they're having so much fun with this, and as a fan, I just want to, you know, help support him. So I'm just passing this on. If you haven't heard the song yet, please go and look it up. It's really cool. It's I'm just really happy for him. Oh, my son. So yeah, check it out. And that's about what I wanted to say for this week. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my stuff, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always happy to see people watching and sharing and commenting and subscribing. It really helps me a lot whenever you share these videos, because it helps me get a wider audience, so that's always welcome. In the meantime, you can find me on social media, you know, screaming about random fandoms as well as politics. On Twitter and Instagram at girlsareweird with underscores between the words, and on Tumblr at girlsareweird with hyphens between the words. You can find all my Stranger Things fanfiction over there, so check out my Tumblr. Even though I don't use it as often, I post everything I write in there, so check that out. You can find a Facebook page for this vlog at facebook.com/FreakingNarnia, and as usual, be sure to visit my main website at FreakingNarnia.com. All my videos are up there, so in case you missed anything and want to catch up, all the videos are up there for you to peruse. Also, if you're in need of proofreading for any project of yours, any written projects, marketing, school stuff, anything like that, if you're writing a novel, if you need proofreading, you can check out my webpage at FreakingNarnia.com/proofing. I have proofreading services, all my rates are there, my information is there, so maybe I can help you make your new project as good as it can be. Also remember that I have a Redbubble store where I make art based on my favorite quotes from my favorite fandoms, and then you can use that art to print on different merchandise such as t-shirts, coffee cups, computer covers, bags, all sorts of cool neat stuff in there, so be sure to visit and maybe purchase something if you're in the mood. It really does help me a lot. It basically pays for my Netflix subscription, guys. Like, it really helps. And it's cool too, so maybe purchase something if you're in the mood. And that's about it for me today. I will see you guys next Friday with another video from all the way in freaking Narnia, which is, I know this is turning into basically a Stranger Things vlog. I promise I will have more of other stuff soon, but as long as Netflix keeps giving me Stranger Things news, what can I do? I have to. You understand, right? I mean, you guys understand. Anyway, bye. These bunch of nerds. She wouldn't. She will be played by Maya in Stranger Things 3. I did not know this when I almost killed 3 child